If you ask me what my favourite thing about bonsai is, do you know what I'd say? Root over rock. I reckon I've made between a dozen, 18 of them over the last 5 or 6 years. And in fact, you'll know that back in 2021, I started, 8 root over rock. And you've seen the progression of at least 6 of them over the last few years, because I've got a playlist all about root over rock, or root on rock, whichever way you like to say it. But you know what? There's 3 here, and I've got 2 more that you haven't seen. If you want to see how they've progressed from 2021 right through to 2026, then this is definitely the episode, because I love root over rock, and I think you should too. Today, we're going to see one that's going to be revealed and completely unraveled. And we're going to see a second that I actually unraveled last year, and we'll see where it's at now. Lots of time lapse. I know you love that. Tell you what, sit back, grab yourself a coffee and enjoy the journey. Hiya, it's Xavier, and welcome to my bonsai retreat. And do you know what? I've actually been really looking forward to this video. And it's technically been, 5-6 years in preparation. And I know I've given sneak previews. You've seen 2, 3 root over the rocks over the last couple of years that I revealed, I've unraveled, I've rewrapped. And in fact, right here, we've got the tigerbark ficus, which was a project I started back in 2022. And I had to rewrap it because the roots weren't fixed right. So I went through the process of what happens when it doesn't work quite right. That's after your 2nd year. But whatever, we saw this Trident Maple. That was exposed, so to speak, and put in this little pot, and that's doing really nicely. And of course, the thing about it is that now it's firmly attached to the rock, a bit like this Italian alder. Very unusual, but it is firmly on this rock. I'm going to have so much fun lifting it and lifting it further out so that you see more and more of the rock. Now, in terms of developing the actual trunk and the secondary structure and all that, hey, that journey's still to come. But we'll follow that in future episodes in my Root Over Rock playlist. I don't know anyone who wouldn't get a kick out of stuff like this. And it's not that difficult. And if you've never done root on rock, then I definitely say this stuff is absolutely perfect for it. Gives you lots of planting areas, lots of areas for ridges and roots to go through. And it's all set up really for that sort of thing. And I think a lot of the time you'll see most bonsai that are root over rock are placed on this stuff. But then I've also done a video where I talk about more natural found rocks. And this was found in one of my annual rock hunts in the Isles of Orkney and on Stronsay, where I go on retreat. And I've got quite a number of rocks which have got all these interesting crevices where you can sit roots down, and just as long as it's got something where the roots can go, whether it be this or anything, it needs a channel, then tell you what, root over the rock is absolutely dead easy. Now, you heard me say that I actually started this in July, so basically the middle of summer. The sun, the heat, and you'd think, surely that's got to be the worst time for doing a root over rock. And my view on it is actually straightforward. With the root over the rock, what am I looking for? Lots of long, usable roots to wrap and bind to all those crevices and nooks on that. I want lots of roots, because what's left over, I wrap on the bottom. So long as I don't start doing major things like cutting those roots, it should work out all right. And the proof has actually been in the pudding. Well, here it is. And I have actually done a little bit of pruning about 4 weeks ago, and just cleared away the weeds. And I even applied a little bit of wire up here just to move some of these twiggy branches into some sort of shape. I mean, yeah, it's got the shape of a tree, hasn't it? But what we really need to do is have a look and see whether or not these roots are gripping yet. So again, what I'll do is I will lift this up about that much, and then we'll reveal it. And as always, the risk is always this point when we lift. See how it comes out. fairly solid group. Maybe roots there, but it's always difficult. They could actually be weed roots. So I just want to put some more soil into the base of that. We've definitely got a little few roots there. So I just want to put it straight in. Dig down the soil that's down here so that we can start pulling apart this. I think the biggest lesson I've learned with these roots on the rock is be quicker at removing weeds. A couple of them I let big dandelions grow and they become pencil thickness roots that really interfere with the growth. So you can see that's lifted it up a good centimetre, 2 centimetres, and that'll give more room for those downward growing roots to grow. The more they grow and occupy the base, the thicker things get here, and ultimately I'm hoping that that's quite a big rock, so this could be quite an interesting proposition. We now need to find out how it's getting on beneath the plastic. Just pull this slowly away. But what have we got roots wise? Okay, you can see there's a root going down there, roots there. It's always a bit hit and miss sometimes with just how much you take away. I want to take away enough that I can see where the main root is. But I think what you can see is there's a roots going down there, but they're not necessarily gripping the rock. So we've got a big root here, and I can see underneath here a little bit of the rock. That's the rock, and there's roots either side of it. And here is also part of the rock there, so there's roots going down there. Just see the rock there. So just let this continue to grow. Remember, we want growth, growth, growth. The more growth we get up here, the more growth we're going to have down there, certainly in the autumn time when those roots are going to be really pushing out. By the way, don't you just love this root over rock oak? This one was done a lot more simplistically. You know, you often get those roots that you just want to wedge apart. And I put a rock in there and then left it for 3 years. Well, funny I think, that's another way of getting root over rock. Literally the roots just expand and swell and grip the rock. So absolutely beautiful. And I think I've done the same with a larch and also a hornbeam. But anyway, I also was investigating a Trident Maple, which again I'd put on a rock in 2021. And well, I'll tell you what, let's go to the same time in 2023 and have a look and see where I was with that Trident Maple. Same thing I've been doing with all my root on the rocks. I'm going to lift this by probably a couple of centimetres, replace it, and then have a look and see just what the structure's looking like once I take the cling film off. First thing, get a nice grip on the rock and the tree. And there are lots of root growth. Now that's actually weed roots. What I'm looking for is what may be down the bottom there. So I'm going to quickly weed off that, potentially put another bit of soil in the bottom of that. There we go. I've uncovered it to this sort of size, and I can also see how much of the rock is unwrapped. We've got some nice healthy roots there. Could put it back in there, definitely. Or, because I'm a bit like that, I could say, nah. Let's spread these roots out a bit and see what we can do with that. Again, we'll just carefully make sure the roots that are there are spread in there nicely. I haven't really cut any roots off, so it's still got what it needs. I'm really quite hopeful how this is sitting on this rock, to be honest. Now all we're going to do is just cut down carefully. Okay. Okay. Right. Now it's just trying to work out whether or not it's properly on the rock. I mean, that's moving with the rock, so that's pretty well telling me we're okay. That's some little roots that are trying to go around the base of the rock. Here, little root there on this big thing here. But a lot of these surface greeny, surface white roots will die off. But it's definitely moving with the rock, so that's great. I'm happy with that. There's a little one there, and actually that, I want that to continue to grow, so I'm going to get some moss on that. What I'm looking for over the next year is for the base of that now to fill out with roots spreading outwards. That will continue to help the grip on this rock. It's a nice wide rock. Pruning this, well, while this is still growing, that's still gaining energy, and we'll be feeding it down. Do I need to actually cut that? I haven't removed many roots, so probably the answer is no. Let's leave that, and we'll come back to it later in the year. But yeah, another root on the rock, really happy with. Well, would you believe it? It's now 11 months later. It's the 20th of June, 2025. And look, this is looking very healthy. Did I do any more pruning? Did I take away that strong branch? Well, actually, if you're looking close, I did. And as a result of that, we got two new that have come up in lovely new shoots. Let's go in and have a look before I tell you what I'm going to do this year. Yeah, I went in there in the end and decided that I wanted two new shoots, and this is what happened. So last year I'd made that cut, and this year buds either side have come up and given us two very strong whips. I think what's good to see though, nice and firm on that rock still. We've still got this circular clump here. I've had to put a whole load of new rock because the birds dug it all up. But it fits in so nicely on that corner. I love that. Some interesting shapes and textures. Again, we've got the root that comes down here, covered by the moss. And again, big root, looks like a big one there. And roots off there. So clearly I made the decision with the Trident Maple to go ahead and do the repot. And you're going to see in a short time how that's looking now, a year later. But first of all, let's bring ourselves back here. I apologise, I've probably got glare coming straight off my my lovely pale features. But we were left with it with a lot more of the rock exposed. Look, that is on so solidly that I have no qualms in really doing the next stage, which is taking the whole thing out and finding out just how much rock we've got. Another good guide, of course, is if you have a look at the bottom, imagine there's some at least one root that's come all the way through. So really it's just a matter of grabbing it, and we're going to start digging around and seeing what we can find. I think really by this stage I don't have to be that careful because it's firmly on the rock. I've got further plastic here which I'm going to want to remove. There's clearly some roots that have come through here, and you know, I have no doubt it's going to stay on the rock. So what goes on next is a little bit of a voyage of discovery, because I really don't remember how far this rock goes down. And you can see now the method I've used. For those of you who haven't seen any of my root over rock videos, say honestly you really should. But you can see that I use a in this instance I use cling film, and the roots have come through the cling film. I think I will stress this about root over rock, and I've already said it once and I say it in every video. You have to be patient, but if you are patient, the results are definitely worth it. And the reason why I say again that you need to leave it for 18 months is because you've got to give these roots a chance to at least expand into any of the crevices that you fed it. But you need to check it certainly within 2 years, because as I discovered with a number of them, tiger bark ficus and Trident Maple, is if it's not attached, you've got to do some remedial action and rebind it. There we go, that's a great mat of roots there. I can quite happily cut these down. So So at least I know the general height of this. Look at this lovely, lovely set of roots on this. Gee, I sound excited, don't I? I'm thinking a nice circular pot for that. But should we get this plastic off? Okay, now we are going to have probably one little decision to make. We've got this nice set of roots all down the bottom here, which you can see are attached. There's a big root here. So that's going all the way down. We can be able to tuck that one, we'll be able to tuck that one in. But I think what's going to happen is these ones are all going to get cut off. But I'm now going to plant this in a pot. So let's get this in water first while I prepare the pot. Now I've given myself two choices for the pots. I'm definitely determined I'm going to go for a round one. Very hard to know where the front of that tree is going to be. There's a lot of styling to do. I've got this, what I'd call the, I don't know whether they call it pot-bellied. Very sort of palish sort of green. I think I had my Korean hornbeam in it. Once. But had it since 2000. Nice little pot. Don't like pot-belly too much, especially with a Chinese elm, because if those roots really, really build up, then I'm going to have trouble getting it out. But it's got extra depth, which could be useful depending on what I think about the final roots. The other option, which I really hope to be able to use, is this one. Absolutely beautiful round pot. Can't remember, it's just having a look, see if the toggle, the whatever on it, the maker. Can't see. It's got a beautiful glaze on it, and I absolutely love it. It could work. Compare it to the depth. Obviously, it's got a bit more depth on there, but we've got a lot more width, which could work with this. So I'm going to prepare both of them, and then come back and we'll see which one we go for. So here we are now. It's progressed, and look at it, absolutely incredible. And that's, as I say, foundations were laid way back in 2021. It's 2026, 5 years. Look at all this growth. It's actually going up another foot above here. Definitely holding and tugging onto that rock. I'm not going to play around with this part yet, because right now I'm going to have a little look at a major issue we've got here. Now, do I have the front here? If I have the front here, this is leaning right in quite markedly. So I also don't think the rock is as special to see. Whereas if you come around here, is it here? No. Whereas if you come around here, you're going to have all this rock gripping on here. You can see nice firm roots and one going around the back. I also like the way the rock looks. Got a back branch here. Got this going across. You know, I can already do things like this if I want. And just clean up some of these. But we've got this great big monster here. So we've got to decide. I quite like this taper for this smaller one here. It goes off to the left. So we've got up, right, left, right. Really like the look of that. Here, it actually gets bigger than lower down. But what we've got, if we turn it around, is at the back, we've got this little whip here. So I think the answer is actually going to be that. And then we've got this growing, which I think is going to do really well. So I'm just going to cut that down a bit more and then apply some cut paste. Look at the difference there. Much more taper. Obviously I will cut that back further back, but we'll probably get a bud that'll come out of there as well. Much nicer. So with this great big length gone, surprise, surprise, it's Trident Maple. Always valuable in terms of bonsai circles. So I'll probably be cutting these up into, I don't know, a dozen or so of these. Put it in water for now. And I'll see if I can get much cuttings. I'll be honest, I didn't have that much success with the cuttings last year. So be interested to see what I'll do here. And in terms of the cuttings, you know me, I'll cut them to about, I don't know, 3 inches long. And rooting hormone straight into a bucket of soil. Leave them, forget. I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to shorten that one off now. I'm not going to bother too much about shortening these off, but what I'm going to do is make sure that even at this stage, what you don't want to do is create threes and anything that's going to be creating inverse taper or stuff like that. And yeah, a lot of this can get sorted another time. I may not even want this one here, which is going to be right at the front. Just depends where the final potting angle is on that rock. In terms of growth, this is going to be the main one, and I need this one to thicken to take the place of the one that's removed. Don't want too much energy going on up here, so we're going to cut that back. And it goes without saying, these are even better cuttings. This back one, I don't really want it growing. And what will happen is a lot of energy is going to go into the outer buds. I'm going to let them flush out until May, and then come back and then cut right back to the buds that I actually want, which are a lot in closer. And if you've seen any of my how to prune your maples, you'll know that's why I'm keeping this length on for now. Looking at that base, I reckon we'll probably do another exploratory and that, open it out a bit this time next year, I think, when we will probably also get it out of this plastic bonsai tub and find it a really nice one. Talking of nice tubs, do you want to see which one I've decided to put that Chinese elm in? Yeah, I've decided it. It's going in this one, and I think it's going to be fine. So all I need to do is take it out of the water that it's been sitting in. It's round. Do I need to worry about the front? I mean, I know some people talk about where the feet are and making sure that the feet line up. Yeah, probably good if you're going for a show. I don't know that this will ever be show worthy. Am I going to be cutting any roots down right now? No, I don't think I am actually. I've got a nice flat root plane, and might remove one or two, but I really want to see this. Goodness, I've never done anything like this, really. Now, using the wire, it's actually going to allow me to dig those roots right in. Those roots on the outside of those, I want them to go around that side. I want a good radial spread. Goodness, this is incredible. I do hope this works. Okay, let's just get that higher up. Wow. I mean, these are going to die off clearly. And I want them to, because I want people to see that rock. Just want to protect some of these bigger, fatter roots. I think there's a bit of overkill on the wire there. We need to put some soil on there, I suppose. You can tell I was excited, but just it's not often that I go and put stuff into such shallow pots. And I know how vigorous Chinese elm or corkbark elm can be, but I really want that to fill and have a really strong circular plane of roots. These are never going to grow into it, so let's get rid of them. What I don't want to do is inadvertently take a root off that has already been... In fact, no, let's be careful. The way I'll know which roots aren't actually doing anything productive is these will die off, won't they? And as for the actual, I can see you. You're coming for the moss. I've got a sparrow right there, and he's literally going at the one that I've just repotted. Ooh. You know, this is wonderful. I've got this lovely branch here, but it's so tall. I'm really not sure. Part of me wonders whether I can create, I don't know, a literati style, or just wait for stuff to bud from here and bring the height down. I could literally just cut this or air layer this and then grow the tree from here. That could work, or I could just grow it as a very, very elegant, tall tree. Oh, I'm excited about this, I really am. Wow. A lot of pruning to do and a lot of thought to go in with that. It's quite tall, but yeah, love it. Which means I can tell you what I'm going to do with that and what I think is going to make you want to watch more of my videos. Yeah, while that one's drying off, I thought I'd wet your lips a little bit with this katsura maple. One of two air layers that I took. The other one has gone into a sort of semi-cascade. This one, I was a bit stumped, but I can see it as being on a big hill on its own or something. And then it occurred to me, I haven't got a root over ROR project this year. Why not try to get it on something like this maybe? Get all those roots over it, and then perhaps sit it in this lovely deeper green bowl or this green pot. Certainly that's what I'm going to be looking at doing in the next few days. Leaves have opened up, so we're really getting to the limit as far as I'm concerned of sort of what is safe for repotting. But I'll say this now, you can repot so long as you're careful and do the aftercare right for quite a long time yet. And I've been doing repots right through April in years gone by. So anyway, if you're going to be interested in seeing that, good reason to hit subscribe, bell notifications, especially if you want to see how those root on ROR are getting. There it is, and yeah, it's tall. I've clipped it back, and the thing with these corkbark elms is you literally can just go clip it like a bush. So many little shoot spots. I see the front somewhere there. You've got all this massive big roots here. They'll continue to grow, thicken in here, and hey, if I get a branch coming out there, I'd be very, very happy. But it's going to make for an interesting tree, I think. And whatever it does, it shows time and time again how fantastic a tree can look if you manage to get it to cling to some rock. Clearly, if you get the structure right up there, then you've got a prize tree. Certainly if you mix the pot right. But yeah, I'll watch this with a lot of interest. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed it. If you want to see how these first started off so that you can get your own feel of how to create your root over ROR, remember, I did these in July, middle of summer, when there was lots of roots to work with. Keep that in mind. Might be a good reason to watch that video right now. Apart from that, happy bonsai and God bless. Cheers.